Awesome, guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Beyond the Artistry. As you know, I am Jordan, and I'm honored today to be joined with none other than Texas Dela Rosa. He's a amazing artist, an amazing educator. Grew up in West Texas. Now he calls Austin home. Does everything from med spa stuff to permanent makeup to laser. And he blends all that stuff together and also educates. So we brought Texas up here, and he's educating us on some laser stuff and getting Bowerman Artistry equipped with the latest, coolest laser gadgets and everything that he knows. We're currently downloading into our brains and trying to get everything educated. So yeah, Texas, welcome to the show. Thanks for taking time and chatting here on the podcast.
Well, thank you guys so much. I'm so happy to be here in Indiana. This is my second time teaching up here, and not with Bowerman Artistry, but just in Indiana. And I think it's really cool, and I'm just so excited for the future for you guys.
Yeah.
It's just going to be amazing. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So going back, let's start off like back in time. Like,
yeah.
Where did you like? What was your upbringing? Like, what got you into like aesthetics and the beauty industry, all that kind of stuff?
So I am from West Texas. I grew up in a very small town. I am I'm the youngest of my older sister and me, and it's just us two. And I was pretty much the kid that basically was always drawing, always doodling, wanted to do everything that was artistic. And growing up in West Texas, it's not exactly the best place to do that.
Sure.
So I was just saying I got my first horse when I was 7, and not much creativity in the world. So fast track to me being in my early teens, I moved to Austin, got into the makeup world. Working in makeup was something that was an artistic outlet for me that I didn't realize could turn into a very lucrative job. I started doing weddings and things like that, and then working in salons. Then those salons turned into, hey, I love you so much. Would you work on my skin? So I thought, okay, maybe I need to work on skin. So then I started working on skin. Then I started working with permanent makeup, and then it turned into laser, and then it turned into education. So it's always been this snowball effect of me doing things. And what I was saying earlier to you guys actually is I love everything that I do. I do the things that I do because I think it's fun. I love helping people. I love people feeling good about themselves. I want to give back that artistic flair to people in their life, whether it be through brows or skincare or acne, or even something as simple as laser hair removal, just making their lives better. So that's kind of how I got into this world and why I've stuck in it. And that's why I'm still in it, because I love it.
Okay. So of the three, so you started off in like just regular makeup, right? Sounds like transition to like permanent makeup, and then like laser, other aesthetics, Botox injection, all that good stuff. Of those like three, then what do you see as like almost the future, right? Like where you see things like going that are like maybe going to be like more promising or things like that?
Like for myself or for like people in general? Just
either or. So like let's hear yourself maybe first, and then like, hey, where you want to go maybe potentially, or like where you want to spend your focus, and then like, hey, where you see the industry going.
Gotcha. All right. I think I'm exactly where I want to be as far as where my career is. I love that I have more transitioned to the education part of things. And I love obviously helping in more in the medical world. I don't do as much makeup anymore. It's mainly film and television. I don't do weddings anymore and things like that. But I mean, obviously I still have a couple of clients I work with, but I do more magazines and editorials and stuff. So, so for myself, I'm happy where I'm at in my career. I've worked with many people, and I've loved every bit of it. But I think for myself, and I think what you guys are actually doing too is it's an evolution. I think that as an artist, you always evolve. I think that any artist out there can understand that. You start off drawing with pencils or crayons, and then you move into oils, acrylics, or whatever. And that's kind of what we're doing here. I've evolved my career over time to suit the needs of what I want to do and what feeds my brain, but also helps other people as well. Because I feel like that's why I was put here on this earth, was to help people.
Yeah.
And I love helping people. So for me, I think that it's evolution, and you guys are seeing that. I think as far as like your career goes, because it's Bowerman Artistry,
right?
But that's not just permanent makeup anymore, right? So now it's like, hey, you're going into a different realm. You've got an esthetician that works here at your beautiful space. Your space is gorgeous, by the way. This space, if you're in Indiana, I'm down here. I'm like obsessed. I'm obsessed with the basement. You have a basement?
You saw the
basement. I was like, what? You have a downstairs? What is that? It's crazy. We don't have basements in Texas.
Oh yeah, that's
no.
true.
We have attics.
So growing up in India, I totally forget that.
Yeah,
They're like
nobody has a
basements aren't
basement.
a thing everywhere.
I always wanted a basement.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, I want to stay in their
Yeah,
basement.
every house that I've ever lived in has always had a basement.
Really?
Yeah,
That
it's
is
always been a thing.
bonkers. No, we always
That's
had
amazing.
attics. And or you don't even go in an attic because it's in Texas. It's 1,000,000 degrees up there.
Yeah.
So you just don't go up in your attic. You know, it's like,
Oh, that's
you know,
funny.
it's yeah. So I was like, wow, this is crazy cool.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's silly. But yeah, you're evolving and I'm happy with you guys. So you've got a beautiful place. You're turning this into not just a permanent makeup artistry place facility. You're turning into a laser center.
Right.
You're turning into skincare. And I think that that's where our industry is going. I see a lot of people that are turning to turning their lives into saying, okay, I started with this, but now I want to do more. And I think that's what most artists do is they want to grow.
Right. So let's talk into that a little bit more. So we've slowly, so like me and Lindsay, we've been doing it for, Lindsay's been doing permanent makeup and services essentially for, I mean, services going back like almost like 12 years now. She was a nail tech, got into permanent makeup. But essentially, yeah, we're trying to add on as many services because we just hear from our clients, right? We hear from our clients and they're like, hey, like, you did my brows, like, what else can you do? And that's kind of how I got into it then, was she was hearing like, hey, like my eyebrows look great. Like, I want my eyeliner done.
Right.
Like, where can I go for my eyeliner? And Lindsay's like, well, I'm sending all this business elsewhere, or I'm like not even sure where to refer them. So she brought me on, hey, do eyeliner and lips. But now it's funny because now getting into it, now I'm the one like, hey, you got your eyeliner done, like go get your brows done. And so now we're like cross promoting, essentially cross selling. But now we're seeing so many other like clients coming in like, hey, you did my permanent makeup, like help me with these wrinkles or help me with these fine lines and stuff. And that's where that plays into it. But so let's speak to the artist maybe that's like, maybe they've been doing permanent makeup for like 3-4 years. Like, how do they know they're ready to add on different services? And like, what services do you feel like are like low hanging fruit that they could grab to?
So that's a great question. I think that for most new artists out there, I would say get good at what you're doing. You know, don't try to jump and take too many. I think a lot of people take too many classes at once. They take too many things under their belt. They buy too many machines. They buy too many devices. They just overwhelm themselves, and then it just kind of all blows up.
Yeah.
They don't they're like, I don't know what I'm doing because I'm not doing anything good.
Right.
I'm doing stuff kind of okay, but I'm not doing it good. Get great at what you're doing and then add one thing on. So that's what I always tell a lot of my students and people that I mentor. I say, you know, get good at what you're doing, get great at it, and then move something on. But when you're ready, I think some of the easier things you can do is like, depending on your region and where you're at, 'cause in Texas, obviously we have some strict laws and we have some that are not so strict.
Sure.
So some of the students that I have that will come in for permanent makeup, they'll then decide, okay, maybe I want to do like brow threading. Or maybe I want to go into aesthetic school. So then they'll go to school for aesthetics and they want to learn skin and they want to learn to do facials, hydrofacials, things like that. Go working in a med spa maybe to get their feet wet and learn what it's like to work on skin in a different way.
Yeah.
And then decide, hey, maybe I want to go on my own and open up my own place and then possibly then get a laser, like kind of like what you guys are doing, getting a laser. And then, you know, because just like you said, so many of us have people, and I'm sure people out there know that, you know, you got this rapport with people, you know, and sometimes we don't get that with permanent makeup because we may not see our clients every year, every month, you know, we may see them every 2 years. But if we can keep them coming back in for little things like brow threading or brow waxing or little stuff, you know, where they have to come back every 4 to 6 weeks, you know, then you start building that rapport with them and they want to be with you. You get excited to see them. They get excited to see you. And then they're like, hey, yeah, I want you to help me with my acne scars, help me with my pigmentation, help me with, you know, my red spots, my telangiectasias on my face, my laser hair removal, whatever it is. And I think that when you can also be financially sound. This is a very important thing. Not doing too much. I was always someone who had a million jobs to pay for my school and pay for my things. I was never broke, but I worked my butt off. I made sure that I didn't take out loans and do things and put myself in the hole.
Yeah.
So that was something that I always try to stress to people too, is to be financially, fiscally sound too. Start putting money back, learn how to put money back, learn how to say, okay, I made $3,000 this weekend. I'm going to put 70% of it away in savings or, you know, whatever it is, an IRA or, you know, even something like Acorns, you know, which, do you know what Acorns is?
I don't.
Oh, dude.
Educate me. What's Acorns?
Acorns is amazing, right? It's an app that it will, if you're not good with stocks or investments or what have you, I'm not. So you can set it up. It goes directly to your bank account.
Okay.
And then whatever you're spending with your debit card, it'll start rounding up, and you can set your round up. So like $5, $1, $10. So every week you put money in, and then it rounds up. And so then that money goes into investments, and then you start making money. I've made money every single year. I put my down payment on my house from this with a year's worth of me spending money. And I didn't even see the money, because we all have savings accounts, or hopefully you have a savings account. But your savings account, you get what, 20 cents a year?
Yeah, it's
like it never changes. You know, you put $500 in it, and when you were 10, and then you're 40 and there's 501. You know, it's like, so this is a great way to actually earn money.
Okay.
And so getting into that. So I think a lot of people that are independent workers don't understand money. I used to work in finance, so that's why I'm good with money. And I try to teach that as well, so that you're financially sound to then go and take that next step, so that you haven't bitten off more than you can chew, and then you fail.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
that's like a huge problem, I feel like, in beauty industry alone, just because usually the like bar of entry to like start your own business and like aesthetics or beauty, it's like really low, right? Comparable to like other business models and things, where like you might be working like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years before you're like actually profitable in a regular business. Where in like the beauty industry, I mean, it's like permanent makeup. I mean, you could be profitable like literally the same month that you open your business, literally immediately. So the temptation is, I would agree with you 100%, is like very tempting to like, oh, hey, I just made $3,000 this weekend. Like, hey, I'm just going to go like blow it. And it's not having that like long-term thought process of like, hey, what am I looking to build here? What am I looking to grow? It's just like looking at everything like in the here and now.
For sure. I think you definitely need a mentorship of some sort, whether it even be going to your bank and having a personal banker, or like having someone work with you. And this, some people are going to be like, oh my God, this sounds scary. But it's stuff that I wish I had known when I was younger, because I was that guy. I was 22, bartending, making like $700-800 a night, you know, being crazy. Let's go to Vegas. Let's do this. Let's go, you know, blow that money. And then you have nothing to show for it. So you're living paycheck to paycheck. And then I started getting older and realizing, oh man, I could have had all this money saved up if I'd have done this, this, and this differently. And then I could have bought that laser that I wanted with no problem. I could have paid cash for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've paid cash for cars before. You know, and it's just crazy, because you don't know about those things when you're young. And so I always try to, you know, I'm 45. So I try to tell people, you know, learn from my mistakes, which is what I want to do, is help people not make those mistakes. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's dive into a little bit more. So like laser and permanent makeup, essentially, like what are the nuances? Like what's the best way to bring it? Is it best to just like get a laser and move into like removal? Like what's going to, like, so if you're a permanent makeup artist looking to get into laser, like what's the best strategy to do so? Or like, is there a good strategy? Is it just like, what are the options basically?
100%. This is a great strategy. We are seeing now, and Jordan and I had the luxury of having a 2-hour car ride to my flight up here, that we had to chat. We were like, oh, we should have filmed this, because it would have been great content. But this is a great time right now, because we're seeing so many people, permanent makeup artists, cosmetic tattoo artists, that are struggling. You know, I was telling Jordan that I don't see many people in my clinic that don't already have permanent makeup. And it's not even my work. It's like just everybody getting microblading or whatever done 15 years ago. And now it's so rare to see someone that comes in with virgin skin, you know? And so we are looking at so many more removals that we're doing, because how many people, I'm sure people out there will know this, they're like, oh, people come in for a quote unquote top up, but they weren't your client. And they have these horribly saturated brows, or, you know, overdone eyeliner, or lips that are bled out. Everything looks crazy. We have to remove that. You know, and I've always been a huge advocate for laser, because laser is faster. You've got to witness how laser can work on 1 or 2 sessions of a client and get them back to where we can refresh those brows so much faster than doing non-laser removal methods. And no names on that, is whatever, but you know the names. So there you go. But I love those companies too. But, you know, laser's my jam. I think that anyone that is in permanent makeup and has been in it a while needs to have removal under their belt as well, because if we are putting it on the skin, we should be able to take it off the skin.
That's a good point.
You know, and I think that it's very important. So a good strategy to have when it comes to that is, again, being financially sound. Okay, know that you're going to spend anywhere from 25 to 100K on a laser. Just depends on what laser you're going to get. I always recommend, don't get a brand new laser right now. You don't have to. If you're getting a brand new business in, buy a less expensive laser, and then start working on those, clients that you're working with, whether it be just a tattoo removal device or whether it be a device that does multiple modalities.
Yeah.
You guys are in a perfect place to do multiple modalities, meaning you have a laser that does more than one thing, because there are lasers that just do tattoo removal. And there are some lasers like you have that do 10 different things.
Yeah.
And you guys are the luxury place here in this area. I think you probably are the best place here in this area to get things done. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. You've got an esthetician, the rooms are great. You are able to offer all of your clients things. And what I see in our industry is, again, these people are struggling because, everyone's tattooed. They're making, 1 or 2 clients a week.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable for your rent or your insurance or the thing. So you've got to pivot, and you've got to learn to, help yourself by helping the industry as well, which is a lot of removals. Then you start building on that rapport of, okay, now you've done the removal. Now you've noticed that the client has wrinkles, or they have pigmented lesions on their face, or little things like that. And so then you can start doing other treatments. And what I tell people is get a good mentor to talk to you first before you ever purchase a laser. Okay. Don't just go purchase one, because let me tell you, it is horrible trying to purchase a laser, because everybody's laser is the best laser. Every single laser salesman is going to tell you theirs is the best. You don't want to buy anyone else's, and ours is $350,000. And none of them ever work. The other ones don't work. And you're like, are you kidding me? Yeah, they want that sale, right? So don't buy the first laser that you run across on an ad. Make sure you talk to someone like me who has been in this industry. I was an educator for the state of Texas for 6 years. Yeah. I definitely, I'm still a licensed educator. I still can do all the things that I do, and I've worked with every company. And I do have some of my favorites. One of the lasers being one that you have, because it does do so many different treatments. But again, you don't have to spend all that money up front. And so I always tell myself, and I tell my students and people that are asking me, Texas, what should I do? I say, talk to me first before you purchase a laser. What are you trying to do? Where do you see yourself in 5 and 10 years? Do you see yourself owning a med spa? Are you just going to be doing cosmetic tattoo? Do you just want to do laser hair removal? Do you just want to do the removals as far as tattoo? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Again, you guys offer so many different services. Your clients need this laser. Y'all needed to buy a laser that did more than tattoo removal. Now, again, if you're just a one-room person that, you're not going to hire anybody to work for you, and it's just you alone, maybe you don't need that. Maybe you're just going to do permanent makeup and removals. That's it, or unless you want to break into doing other things. I feel like it's important to find out what your passions are too, as far as what you're doing, because you don't want to do something that you don't want to do. If that makes sense. I don't do anything I don't want to do. Like, I literally don't do any treatments that I don't want to do. If you ask me, I won't do it. So it's like, no. Or I'm going to charge you so much.
It's going to be worth my time.
It's like worth my time to do it.
Totally.
It's like, I won't even do weddings anymore unless it's like $1,000 for a bride or something. It's just the one person. And then I get to go home. Like, I don't want to do it. So I don't charge that much for this course. But it's just, I think that, you got to have a plan. And most people aren't planners. Something that most artists do is right brain, left brain. Yeah. They don't have that connection of the two, and they're just so creative, and they have this vision, but they can't execute
the business side.
Business savvy is so important. So finding a mentor.
Yeah. So finding a mentor in there. But so talk to me, because we had talked on the way here. So full background, Texas was supposed to fly into South Bend. He got on his plane in Austin, whole delay, gas leak. It was a whole debacle. He landed in Chicago, and me and Lindsay were watching his flight, and he missed his connecting flight by I think 10 minutes or 8 minutes.
It was something ridiculous.
It was so close. So then I literally looked at Lindsay, and I'm like, I'm driving to Chicago. I'm picking up Texas. Picked him up. I got home at 2:30 in the morning. We had the training the next day was supposed to start at 10. So it was a whole thing, just getting him here to Indiana. But so we had that great conversation on the way here. So let's talk into essentially more on the lines of permanent makeup and where that industry is going, because I think you had mentioned it a little bit earlier in one of the comments of you see a lot of people closing shop now.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people in the permanent makeup industry, as it boomed within the last 3-4 years, trainings everywhere, artists everywhere. Now we're seeing all this work and things like that. Where do you see the permanent makeup industry going, and maybe how it does tie into more laser now or more removal?
I think that I've definitely seen a huge shift in our industry in the past, like probably 4 or 5 years, just because again, I see so many people that come in that just already have work done. It's bad work, or it was, there's the 2-day trainings, 1-day trainings, or people that just don't even care.
Yeah.
They don't do a training and they just watch YouTube University and they go
yeah.
and they're like, I watched a video, I can do it. I think a lot of people also get into this industry thinking they're going to get rich really quick. And I've said this in other videos and with other people, and I think that it's you're never going to make a lot of money if you're not great at something and you don't love what you're doing, because people can smell that. They can tell, like sharks and blood in the water. You can tell when someone really loves what they do, and you can tell when someone's just doing it for money. And that person that's doing it for money isn't probably going to be very successful because they don't want to do their own job. So I think a lot of people take this as a get rich quick situation. And so what I'm seeing is a lot of people that were probably those type of people that aren't really in it to win it. They're failing.
Makes
and
sense.
they're not getting those clients because people can tell you're not interested in doing what you're doing, or you're always just okay with your work. You're charging $200 for browse. You're busy because you're cheap.
Sure.
That's just a part of it because you're affordable to people, but you're not doing great work and you probably don't even like what you're doing. So I think that there's a lot of people also that they think that they're going to be in this for like 20 years and they're realizing how hard this job is. It's not just doing artistry, it's selling yourself and selling things, and people aren't good at selling. So they are having to learn to pick up these other pieces and say, okay, if I'm not making but maybe $600 a week now I need to do something else. So again, removals are the easiest way to do it because you already are putting it on the skin. Now you need to know how to take it off.
Yeah.
And so I think laser is going to be a huge thing. I mean, I'm seeing so many more people. I'm getting so many more phone calls of people wanting to learn laser. I mean, this is my 5th class in last year.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a couple more coming up down the road. And it's all permanent makeup artists. These are people that are realizing I need to learn this because they're also wanting to help people. So the ones that I'm teaching, like you guys, y'all are in it to win it. We know that y'all are here to help the industry, help your clients get better at your craft and give them a better outcome. Because again, we can't just keep slapping on that ink and expecting that gray brow to go away because you put orange on it.
Yeah.
You know who you are. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
The industry has totally shifted. So like, I can remember when Lindsay got back into it, it was literally like as simple as posting like one before and after. Yeah. And she'd get like, 10 to 12 clients literally from that one post on Instagram. And so that's what we try to communicate to our students too, is like, hey, like things have shifted. Like you're getting into the industry, it's totally fine. You can still totally do it and still totally grow, but like the same tactics that worked back in like 2022 and 2021, like they are not going to be the same strategy that like works today for your business. And so like you've talked a little bit about like your back, like, so have you ever owned your own like business? Have you ever done that? Yeah, have you always been employee?
Yeah, no, I own a couple of businesses, but I've also been an employee too as well. I've worked on my own different times with different places, but then I've also been contract labor in places. I'm a really weird employee because they kind of know how I work. I'm not the normal employee. I am definitely someone who, when I get hired onto places, I have contracts that we sign, and I'm like, hey, if I'm going to be teaching and I'm going to be gone for a week or 2 weeks, whatever, sorry, I'm out. If I'm going to be doing a film set or be in LA or doing the Emmys or whatever, I'll be busy doing that. And then I come back. Most people can't do that. Most people just can tell their boss, hey, I'm going to be gone for a week. But again, with me, that's just kind of how I roll. That's what I do. And I will bring everything I can to the table. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. And so I don't know. I feel like with most people, it's hard to say like what's better, I guess, like working. I guess, what do you want to do? Do you want to do payroll? Do you want to do all your ordering? Do you want to do all of that? Or do you want to just come in and then leave your work at home? I mean, because when you work for yourself, and Jordan, you know this because you own a business, it's hard. Like when I first started my very first business when I was in my 20s, I had no idea. I didn't know what taxes were. I didn't know like W-9, what 1099. I didn't know any of this stuff, and so I was so shook because I was just like, "What? I owe money? What? You're not going to give me money back?" Yeah. So it just depends on what you want to do as an artist, where you want to go. I mean, being an entrepreneur isn't for everybody. It's really not. I don't really like doing payroll. I don't want to order things. I want to tell someone, I want to say, hey, I need this, and you bring it, and then I do my work and I leave. Yeah. But that's what I like to do. But then I also like to also make my own schedule. So I'm not the most.
So how would you suggest somebody then like that wants to maybe get into like the aesthetic industry or wants to get into like permanent make, would you suggest then that they maybe find like a a studio or a salon that's going to like fit their needs
Yeah.
and then go get additional training before?
I
or
think
would they get the training before and then find this?
I would recommend doing training first, because that way you come in with something you haven't. I always tell people when I get hired somewhere, everyone that I've ever been hired from, when in any business that I've been to, has hired me on the spot, usually because I have so many credentials.
Yeah.
I have so many things under my belt. And it's not just like I just got a class over the weekend.
Right.
Like they can see, oh gosh, this guy's coming in with a full book of business. He has people that fly in from out of state, out of the the US to come see him.
Yeah.
He's a global trainer. He's a global speaker. They're like, okay, I want him to work. Not many people are going to have that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I worked really hard to get there.
Yeah.
Most people don't have that. So what I say is go get that. Go do that. Go do the things that will make you make more money. I say this with a lot of students when I used to work for the state and I was doing laser. A lot of people, my laser techs would be like, hey, can I just do the laser tech course and then go get a good job? Yes and no. Okay. I would say, I'm going to be honest with you. Most laser techs are going to make 14 to 15 bucks an hour starting out. Okay. You're not going to make a lot of money, whereas you are a laser tech that also is certified in doing IPL, erbium, CO2 laser resurfacing, tattoo removals. See where I'm going with this? The more you can bring to the table, the more of an asset you are to that employer, the more they want you. Because they don't have to train you. You know everything right now. So all they have to do is kind of put you in and say, hey, this is how we work. This is what we do. Then let you run wild. And that's what I bring to the table too, is that when I go to places, I have a stack of my certifications and things that I do and license and everything. And then people are like, oh God, I want him to work for me. So I think it's smart to go to school, get that stuff done first, get great at it, maybe take a couple of crappy, low-paying jobs. We all have to do that sometimes to kind of get yourself better. I did a lot of free work when I was younger as a young makeup artist. I would do makeup for magazines and editorial stuff, and I would do all this fashion stuff using my own makeup, my own things, all for free, and just to get my name out there. And then see my name up there on the magazine. But then I was like, well, I did all that, but I'm eating ramen noodles. But I had to do that stuff to get where I'm at now. And I think that a lot of people don't want to do that. I think they just want to be, they want to skip it. They want to be rich and they want to have all the money and do all the things and the clout, but they don't want to work for it. So I say that get the classes done, then maybe go work for somebody, and then decide if that's something you want to do is going to entrepreneurship. Working for yourself. Yeah.
One of the best pieces of advice I got. So I went to college, got a degree in sports management, nothing to do with beauty. But one of the big things I picked up on is I had a great professor in an intro to business course. And he was like, if you ever want to own your own business someday, go work for somebody that at least is somewhat maybe like comparable in that. And he goes, then you're getting paid and then you learn the business. You're learning somebody else's business while you're getting paid still, as opposed to just jumping out there, starting your own business, and then you're not making anything. And you're like trying to learn and not make anything. So it's almost like it's better to get those like few years underneath your belt doing something
for sure
before you actually jump into something that like now all of a sudden, hey, I'm not getting paid anything. And I'm like having to learn on top of it and do the artistry and like
also pay all your bills. Pay your insurance, pay your rent, pay your front desk, pay your, marketing. I mean, all that stuff adds up. And I think it's really difficult. I think a lot of people don't realize those things are part of owning a business or part of being in an industry. Again, I'm blessed now because people find me. I don't really find them. People have, that's
awesome.
Google, Reddit, whatever. But that doesn't happen when you're brand new. It didn't happen to me when I was brand new, and we didn't have Reddit back then. We didn't have MySpace. So, I mean, that's putting my age back there. So I don't know, you could Google something and it'd be like, this is nothing. But I think people are learning that it's a lot harder. And you said something last night or the night before last. Was it last night?
Gosh. When I
got
two nights ago. Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind, guys. So you said something about this, is that newer artists too are also struggling, because I think that, and you kind of said this, that it's people are now also going back on that natural phase. And we're seeing that even in the aesthetic world. They don't want as much cheek filler. They don't want the lips that are huge. They don't want, some people may want that, but a lot of people are going back natural. And some people are getting away from the brow. I'm actually having a lot of clients that are getting brow removals and not wanting their brows again. They're literally saying, I don't want them tattooed anymore. And I'm like, cool. All right, that's your face. You do what you want to do. And so they're also doing their research. They're seeing, oh crap, if they had these brows from 10 years ago, they're going to turn gray. Are mine going to turn gray? Are mine going to turn pink? And so then they're just opting out of it. So you've got to kind of learn, we're in a shift right now. And I mean, unless you're like a very big known name, It's not as busy as it used to
And
be.
even then, I feel like, I mean, even as like a big, well-known name, I'm sure you're still feeling
Oh yeah,
the impact of it.
everybody
Sure.
is. The entire industry is feeling that. Yeah, 100%. I think that everybody is. And again, just because you're in this industry doesn't mean you can't start thinking ahead and saying, okay, how do I change what is going on right now? Because you can change your own trajectory
Yeah.
and financially too as well. I mean, you're getting to see this firsthand. Like I've spent the last couple of days with Jordan and Lindsay, and we've been talking about how they will be next year. And I'm very excited to see where you are because it's going to be a huge difference for you.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to make a couple $1,000s a day working for 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And laser, you can do that.
It's wild.
You know, if you're trained and you know what you're doing,
yeah,
right?
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's it's totally different. But yeah, you have to adjust with the change of how things are going, or otherwise, yeah, you will end up closing shop for sure.
100%. Yeah, it has definitely been a weird shift and a weird pitch, I think, for some people because they don't. I think that a lot of people, again, think this is get rich quick, and now there are even more people struggling. So it's just been very hard, and I hate seeing people struggle. I really do. So that's why I really want to educate and help people. That's why I talked about this in my group. I do mentorships. I've been super busy doing personal trainings, like obviously with you guys, just to help people and just coaching people on how to get their world back on track. Because it's real easy to derail your life, and then you're like, oh God, I've got like a month left out of my paycheck and out of my bank account, and then I'm closing shop. And I know people that have closed up shop, and it sucks.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for them, but you know, I mean, it happens sometimes.
It's crazy. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for being like willing to sit down and do this. But then also just, I love the transparency because I feel like sometimes, especially beauty industry, it's like everybody can put on a smile and be like, yeah, we're good. Like Instagram, like, look at this, we're great. Like I'm booked with clients. I'm fully booked out for like so long. And so thank you for the transparency on that in the industry. I feel like so many times people are like, it's a fake it till you make it like culture where it's like, oh yeah, I'm booked out. And it's like, wait, are you really? Because
nobody posts their negative stuff on social media.
Exactly.
Nobody's posting that, you know, they're tanking or that they're eating, you know, bologna sandwiches, you know, because they're poor right now because like it's slow. I mean, nobody's doing that.
Socials are your highlight.
Social media. Don't believe anything on social media. I always tell people, you know, believe mine because I'm real. I don't care. I just tell people, no, it's. I'm always going to be transparent.
Yeah.
If you ever want the truth from someone in the industry, always come to me. I'm happy to tell you what works, what doesn't work, whether it be from business side, whether it be from artistry side. You know, I love to help people in that aspect because I think that we do need more people that are transparent, because I think a lot of people prey on the newer people that are brand new into this, that are ready to spend 10 grand with that educator or that person that's training for one day, and then they never hear from them again.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then it's like, well, gosh, you know, I was just a number. Yeah, you were a number. They made $10,000 off of you and the other 12 people that were in that class. And none of those people are going to get a good education. So I think that there needs to be more transparency. So go to, obviously, you guys train too as well. What do you guys train in?
So we do all permanent makeup stuff. So brows, we have an intro to brow, basically all the entry level. We're still trying to build out different stuff, but intro to brows, intro to eyeliner, intro to lips are the big three there. Lindsay just added advanced nano, I think like last year.
Very cool.
So yeah, all the permanent makeup stuff. We have some other stuff we're like slowly trying to get out there
It's very exciting. I'm excited to see where you guys go. And your facility is so beautiful, guys. They actually, I keep saying it because I'm like, wow, the fixtures, they have a black toilet. I was like, can I even come in here? I feel like do you watch Bob's Burgers?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Anyone that watches Bob's Burgers, there's like, I'll have to play.
Is there a black toilet in Bob's Burgers?
There's a black toilet in Bob's. I'm going to send you the episode so you can watch it. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, I won't go into it, but it's just crazy. No, you got to come see them, guys. They actually host trainings here. It's such a beautiful facility. And I mean, this is the place in Indiana to come.
Thank you, Texas.
To learn from anybody. Again, they're also super transparent as well. I love that you guys are honest to your students and honest to us about things. That's why I'm here training with you guys, because I know that you're going to do things right and do things the correct way, and you don't half-ass anything.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. So final send-off, where can people go to find you? I know you do run like Facebook groups. And you got a ton of different stuff.
So easy to find. Just go to Texas Dela Rosa. You can Google me, Texas Dela Rosa. You can go to texasdelarosa.com. If you go to my website, all my stuff is there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as my name. and then my that's pretty much it. I think I have some other things coming up too, but we're gonna chat about that another time.
Cool.
But there we go.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Texas. Great having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
I know we'll look forward to another episode here shortly. See ya.
Bye, guys.